All right, good day, everybody. It's your friendly neighborhood YouTuber back at it again with another action figure review, guys. And as you can see right here, we have Spawn 6 from, I believe, Series 20. I'm not really for sure. I got this guy loose in my big Spawn haul that I did a while back ago. So I figured we take a look at him today, give you guys a close-up of this figure. I am missing a few pieces. I am missing his sword with the green blood of Mel Boji, because his head right here, he's supposed to be holding his head, right there if you guys can see it. He's supposed to be holding his head, and also I'm missing the base. So when you see Spawn 6 holding Mel Boji's head, there's supposed to be like a puddle of like green blood like at the bottom of the base that's supposed to hold his head in place. I didn't mean to rhyme there, I just rhymed. But first, we're going to take a look at Spawn 6 first, and then I'll show you the head. He can actually hold the head. If you get it right, I'll show you guys how to stuff his head into his sleeve right there. Yeah. Of course, here's the back of him, but we're going to take a look at him a little bit later on. Of course, if you do have swords, which I have plenty of swords, but I didn't get a sword for him. I've seen him before in the package, and I was kind of reluctant to get him because I already have him loose, and I didn't want to pay an additional $20 for a figure I already have, just so I can get his blade and the puddle of blood, of green blood. So maybe I might, I might pick up, if I can find him cheap, I might pick up this Spawn. If I can find an alternate version, because there is an alternate version of the Spawn figure, guys, because he does come with the mask and unmasked as well. Of course, he does have head articulation. And one of the reasons why I didn't really pick up this figure is he is cool, but he's not one of my favorite Spawns. So we'll go into a closer look for this Spawn figure. And look at his face, man. His face is just monstrous. I really, really like that face. I don't really care too much for the break at the neck. It's just a little bit too there, you know what I mean? It doesn't feel right. His head doesn't really feel right. I mean, it looks nice. He looks beautiful. Don't get me wrong. But, this is a very simplistic Spawn figure. He's just a very slender Spawn figure, guys. Well, nicely detailed, as all Spawn figures are. And this guy is more or less a statue. And this is from the later on figures from McFarlane. I do believe he said like a 2001, 2002, if I'm correct. And that's when they started introducing these plastic chains, which I really didn't care too much for. I really like the McFarlane real chains that they use, guys, but so I never really cared too much for these chains, and they're freaking huge too. They're long as all hell, so that'll be a good thumbnail. But I don't use thumbnails. I just kind of let the video fall where it may. So you can possibly, if you wanted to, you can drape the chains over him like so. And yeah, I'll go back down to the head and to the feet if you guys can see it. Yeah, and you can tell this is a newer Spawn figure because of his costume. You would normally see like a darker, I think it's a darker blue, right, of the Spawn on here. And you can tell that the Spawn is newer because he has all black and then the white stripes in the middle of his chest. So this would probably be like a darker blue or like a darker color. I think it was a red, wasn't it? Like a darker red right here in these colors, and then the rest would be black, if I'm correct. Why they did that, I don't know. I've always liked that red, like right there, It's similar to, even though Spawn is not as big as Superman, but it's similar to Superman, when they took away his red underwear. That, to me, that's part of Superman. That's who Superman is, and I just hate when they take away, stuff from our favorite characters. And it just doesn't feel right. You know what I mean? I mean, throughout the whole Superman movie, when I was looking at that Superman, the Henry Cavill Superman, Man of Steel, and of course, Justice League. It always bothered me that Superman never had red underwear. That Henry Cavill never had the red underwear to go with his wardrobe, man. I just feel like you have to include the red underwear regardless of how stupid it looks, regardless of how ridiculous it looks. That's how we know Superman, from Superman. That's what makes Superman Superman. If you guys agree with me, let me know. If you think it's stupid, I understand. But I just feel like that's the Superman that we all know. And the same thing with the Spawn. Even though, like I said, Spawn is not as big as Superman, I know Spawn from the red, the redness right here. I just don't like him when he's all black because he just looks too plain and too simple. You know what I mean? So we'll bring in the Mel Boji head. And this is a very nice detail piece. It is made of rubber. Nothing articulated on it. Let me back up the Spawn figure so you guys can see this Mel Boji head sculpt. So yeah, here's the Mel Boji, and very nicely detailed. It is, like I said, it's like a hard plastic rubber. Like this is like plastic right here, and his hair is made of rubber. And there's where the attached head would be. There's the green blood. Yeah, I love the detail of this Mel Boji head, the green blood and him leaking blood from there, and it looks like he's missing an eye. Oh yeah, he is missing an eye. It looks like his green eye is busted and it's like leaking fluid. So I'll show you how he holds the head. I don't really know if this is how he holds the head, but this is kind of like my technique to get him to hold the head. So being that he doesn't have the base, so I just kind of slip it in here right between these cracks, guys, if I can get him in there, and have him hold the head like that. Actually, if you wanted to, you can actually turn the head like that, or you can slip it in there like so, and you can have him hold the head like that, hold the head up like that if you wanted to, and display him like that. I think that's pretty cool. His head is a little heavy and it's a little off balanced. Or you can have him, let's see, what's a good way where you can actually see his head. Kind of plug his hair into like that. Or actually underneath, you can do it like underneath. So you can plug his head in like that. I don't know why I didn't think of that. And you can have him holding Mel Boji's head like that on display. I bring it up just a little bit more. There we go. So yeah, that looks pretty awesome. That's how he'll probably be displayed. Of course, you might want to get yourself a base. If you don't have the base like I do, because the green, like I said, it would be attached to his head, and like the green blood would be like at the bottom, and he would be like balanced. But being that I don't have the green blood, I don't have it attached, so there's no base, so he's not leveled. So when I'm probably actually he stands good like that. So if you just have to bend his knee like that, guys. Or if you wanted to, you can always get yourself a base and put a base underneath him. But that's probably how I'll display him, like that. I think that's a really cool effect right there. He's a really awesome figure. Like I said, I do wish I had the base. I do wish I had the sword. It'll probably make this figure 10 times better, guys. But if I do decide to buy this guy again for the base and for the sword, I'm definitely going to get the mask version because he is a very awesome figure, guys. So I am going to rate him, even though I think it's kind of unfair because I don't have the base and I don't have the sword. So I'm just going to kind of picture him with the base and with the sword, being that he was a loose figure and I bought him, loose, and he didn't come with all the pieces. So really, that's how I'm going to rate him. So this rating that I'm going to give him, guys, I think I'm going to give him a solid maybe 8 as of right now. I think if I had his sword and his base, I think I would definitely give him a 9 because he's really an awesome figure. He's an awesome Spawn 6 to have. The face on there, he's very unique. The face sculpt is really nice. The body sculpt is really nice. The face sculpt to that Mel Boji is really nice. I do recommend this figure, guys, if you can find him. I mean, the head sculpt is really good, the unmasked one, because you can see him screaming. With the masked version, of course, you can't see the expression. The articulation on this figure, really, he has just kind of knee bends right here, his legs right here at the upper hips do bend, his arms do go up and down, and he has no knee bend, and of course his head just kind of turns back and forth. So that's pretty much his articulation for this figure right here, guys. Definitely an awesome figure. I definitely do recommend him. Like I said, I got this in my big Spawn haul, so I just showed you guys briefly, like back in the day. I think it was like 6 months ago when I did the Spawn haul, and I figure I'd do a review of this figure because I think he deserves a review because I think he's just that awesome. And he's a really, really cool figure to have. He's a really, really cool Spawn figure to have. And I don't think I'm missing any more pieces. If you guys know I'm missing some pieces, leave it in the comments and let me know. But yeah, that's all I'm missing is really his base, which is the green blood of Mel Boji, and the sword with his green blood of Mel Boji on it. So guys, there was my little review of Spawn 6. I felt like I needed to do a review of this figure because he was just an awesome figure, and I do recommend him. He's definitely an awesome Spawn figure. So if you like this video, hit the like button, comment, subscribe, hit that notification button to receive more cool, awesome reviews like this. And there you guys have it. There was my little review of Spawn 6. And if I ever do decide to repurchase this figure with the mask on, I'll probably do the full review of the base of Mel Boji and his sword too that he has as well. So, but overall, I think you can put this piece on display, you know, on your toy shelf just as is, because I think he's just that awesome. He's really a really cool figure. The only gripe that I have is the plastic chain. I don't like the plastic chains ever since McFarlane, you know, back in the day he used to use real chains, and as the figures progressed and got, you know, time went on, he started to use plastic chains, which I think are kind of ridiculous, but nonetheless, he's still a cool figure, guys. So, there you guys have it. I just want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you next time. And we are out. Bye!